today I have Mark Fuqua. Did I say that right?
Close enough, Jay.
Okay,
Close
good name.
enough.
Okay. He's like the Fuchsas. You know,
Yeah.
you got to be careful how you pronounce that. Owner of M&D Enterprises, and if someone hasn't seen one of your ads, they're
They're not online.
living under a rock.
Yeah.
Because you guys are like everywhere. So for those that don't know, what is M&D Enterprises?
M&D Enterprises, we are a small mom and pop owned shop. Basically, we've got 5 stores scattered across 100 miles in western Oklahoma. We do anything for your backyard porch or patio, hunting blinds, one of the largest mower dealers in the state, volume-wise, so we do volume buying, offer good discounts. Portable buildings, carport, storm shelters, just a plethora of products. If you need it in your backyard or on your porch or out in the woods, we hope we've got it.
What's that saying? If you don't have it, you don't need it.
Yeah. If we don't have it, you don't need it.
Well, today is going to be a little different because usually we do these and we talk about the background and all these kind of things, but you've been serious business owner for a long time. You're on a couple of boards. You're on the Pioneer board.
I feel like that's a good connection to our region. If you can serve in those capacities, yes, I'm fortunate to be in my 15th year, I believe it is, on the Pioneer Telephone Board. And then I serve on the Northwest Oklahoma Alliance Board, which is a deal that really tries to bolster our area of the state with bringing in new opportunities and things like that, that could help the local and regional economies. And that's been a really good deal for me. Just had a Red Carpet Country meeting. I'm on the Red Carpet Country board of directors, and we just had a big tourism deal in Kingfisher, this week, and that had a great turnout, and everything went really well there. I didn't make a lot of the first part of that, but I made the business meeting and some other stuff. I was tied up with work, but so I'm on the K101 Bowl board. I mean, there's just Ceiling Hospital board, and I just think all those things, they take an immense amount of time. You got to read and study the materials and do this and do that and show up to meetings and whatever. And you know, it's all volunteers. So for those other boards. So you're using your time, your energy, your effort, your fuel, but the benefit that you're bringing to your region or your community, yes, you're doing. We all do better when we all do better. And if we can help our region and our area do better, then we're all going to do better.
And most of the people that you deal with have no concept of the behind the scenes amount of time and work it takes to and then by the way, you got to run a business.
And you're trying to handle the day-to-day of that on top of all the other and there's times I am so busy with work that I'm not as good of a board member on some of the, I focus hard on the Pioneer deal and always have. Some of the others, I do what I can when I can, but I'm there to help when it's needed and that type of stuff, and support, try to make a certain percentage of the meetings and do all that. So.
Well, a big part of today's podcast is going to be about business challenges in today's economy and things like this. And
well, there's a lot to talk about.
And the big one is retail post-COVID. So. What has changed in your world since COVID?
Well, I mean, I'll touch on something here that's not as much business related as it's just human related. A lot of people are meaner. People don't have the patience they had before COVID. People don't, and if there was ever a time they needed patience, it's now because we can't get the parts. We can't get this, we can't get that. Our shops are stacked full, and it's not that we can't get the work done, we can't get the part to get the work done. And then people are, you've had my mower a month, and it's like, and if there's to ship us the part, we'll have it back to you in 30 minutes. But probably a big deal with us is I'm hearing my people take more abuse on the phone and whatever, and I'm even having to jump in and take over and tell people, hey, you need to calm down. You can't talk to my team like that. I mean, they didn't do this. This is not their fault. And so there are a lot of challenges in business today. And I've talked to several other business owners, and they're all saying the same thing. It's like people are on pins and needles. They're on edge about this economy and how they're going to make their insurance payment next month, or this, that, or the other. And I think it's got people stressed out. I mean, it's got me stressed out. I mean, our business isn't as good as it has been in years past, and you lose sleep over worrying about having 20 people get a paycheck, you know, and so there's a lot more stress in the world today. I look forward to a day that hopefully things calm down, settle down. We can get rid of the rhetoric and just get back to living.
Well, and I think you already addressed some of this is cost pressures and profit squeezers.
Oh yeah. Profit, I mean, all of our costs are up, and our profits are down, and that's just a bad combination. And I've seen numerous dealers go out of business over the last 2 years. It's tragic. I mean,
Well, you've got a pretty high dollar overhead.
Oh,
I mean, with inventory and
yes, it costs a lot just to get out of bed every day and open the doors. I mean, that's a fact. You got 5 stores, like I said, and all the insurance and the products and the inventory is just overwhelming at times. I mean, you can look up and have $500,000 tied up in parts. I mean, that's crazy, but it is that way.
So Main Street versus chains, you know, we struggle with that in our, you know, daily activity.
Oh, sure.
And
right.
So give us your take on that a little bit.
Well, all I know is what I know. And so as it applies to us and our customers, let's take mowers, for example. If you go to Lowe's and you think you're saving $200 buying a mower, a lot of times you're not saving anything. If you really shopped with your local guy and gave him a shot, a lot of times, and if you are saving, the mower that you see there may be a Cub Cadet ZT142, but it may not be the same ZT142 that your factory authorized dealer is going to have. Sometimes they are. I mean, sometimes they're the exact same mower. But, you know, what I like to say is we're going to be there with parts. We're going to be there with service. We're going to be there with a lot of things that you're not going to get from that big box store. They can't handle their warranty. Guess who they send warranty work to?
Send them to
us. Yeah. I mean, we do warranty work in Weatherford, Woodward, Canton for people that purchased it. And we don't treat the customer any differently. I told my people early on when I got into this, I used to know some car dealers when I was in the car business, and they would not work on stuff if like say somebody from, I'm not even gonna name a town because I don't want anybody to think I'm talking about, but say somebody where there is a car dealership in a small town and Joe Blow goes to Oklahoma City and buys a new Chevy or Ford, and he comes back and he wants to get it in there to get warranty work done. Some of them said, nope, we aren't doing it. You should have bought it here. And I've just never had that mentality. My mentality has been, if we get them in there and we take care of them and we treat them right, they won't go buy their next mower at Lowe's. They'll buy their next mower at M&D.
Someone said something, I don't know where this was, but just because it's green, it doesn't mean it's a John Deere.
Right, 100%.
A lot of that stuff at the box stores are...
Well, they're not even made by John Deere.
Yeah,
they're painted green with yellow.
Green,
yeah,
put a sticker on.
100%. And they people think they're getting a John Deere. It's like, well, you are getting something green that says John Deere, but they didn't make it. You know, now on some of their larger commercial mowers and stuff, they do manufacture.
Well, yeah, no, and I was just comparing box store to a dealer like you or somebody.
Yeah, and you're right, you're exactly right. At least I know that's how it's been in years past. You know, is that it wasn't even manufactured by the company they thought it was.
So how has supply chain been a problem?
So like, it's been on the parts deal, like I mentioned, that's got people so upset and irritated for how long it's taken to get stuff in and out of the shops. Parts have been a nightmare because a lot of the parts for all the brands come from overseas, and so ever since that all happened, that's been a nightmare. Of course, prices went up. You know, mowers that used to be $4,000 or $5,500 now. You know, and that has put a damper on the purchasing power of the consumer. There's just been numerous things that have led to nightmares for dealers like me and many others that nothing made it easier about it. It all made it harder. Right. You know, there was nothing easier about it. Well, that's not true. When everybody got that free money, you know, that they handed out, that we did have a great year because people had money, they had time on their hands. So I shouldn't say nothing good came out of it, but I think we're all paying for that now.
Yeah.
You know, and it is my opinion.
So AI and tech for small businesses, what's your take on that?
Well, we're probably more advanced than most in our industry, or because we do so much online marketing, advertising. I use AI every day. I mean, I use it to build this talking points. I mean, I use it for 100 things, anything we can simplify. It's like, I'm even going to set up my own board of directors all AI agents because you can go in there and you can ask it questions about business and ask it to act like. So I just recently was renewing my insurance. And at 50 grand a year, you want to look and see if there's somewhere you can cut corners or do something. I ask it to act as a 30-year professional in the insurance industry, yada, yada, and tell me where could I trim, where am I not covered as well as I should be, you know, and man, it spit out a thorough, it's incredible stuff. And we use it in our marketing every day. I mean, you know, to help us, we're used to, I would type up the verbiage for everything. I might throw something general in there and say, give us the top 5 best performing lines here or whatever. And then we use that. And we even use it to make our videos. We use it to make some of our photos now, where we used to hand do all that. So
by the way, Mark is Mark. He's not AI. We did.
Yeah. I did create an AI and made a couple of ads out of my AI version. Yeah. And it was, you literally couldn't hardly tell it.
Wow.
I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is. But I don't, for all the things it can do, it's not gonna be able to turn a wrench on a lawnmower. You know, it's not gonna be able to go get you a part off a shelf. Well, at least not right now. Yeah. I guess if the robots keep coming, quick, 10 years from now, maybe I have to bite my tongue. But for now, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be able to, and it'll never be able to replace the personal connection. And to me, that's, you know, you build relationships with your customers and try to, you know, facilitate those and foster those relationships over the years, and you know, continue to do business with people that you know and you like, and that hopefully they know, like, and trust you. And that's what business is all about, really.
Sure. So Oklahoma market snapshot. I guess it's 99.4% of Oklahoma businesses
small business
or small businesses.
Yeah. I thought that was an astounding stat.
Wow.
And employ, does it say on there? I can't remember.
It does,
but they employ a certain percentage of the workforce.
Nearly half the workforce.
Yeah, nearly half the workforce, which, I mean, it's just incredible. But look up and down your main streets, and even as sad as some of them look today compared to what we knew in the heyday or the better days, there's still people, tenacious people out here trying to make things happen and keep their local communities supported and strong, keep their tax base. You know, I mean, I just think a lot of people don't look at the big picture, and you know, it's not a lot, but when you buy that new $5,000 mower at Lowe's in Enid, their $500 tax, say they're at a 10% just for easy math. Yeah, that doesn't benefit your town. It doesn't benefit your county. It doesn't benefit your community at all. And there's a lot of things that get purchased online every day or in Oklahoma City or larger communities that could have been purchased locally. Sometimes it's higher to do business locally. A lot of times it's not. A lot of people have an assumption. When I was selling new cars, I could match anything they could get anywhere. I mean, you know, and I can do the same thing on a lawnmower. But they just assume it's going to be cheaper, and they go grab it. And then sometimes they find out later, and I've had them call me and be like, hey man, I messed up. Can you get me out of this truck? And I'm like, no, you already signed all the papers and did the contract. So I apologize, but I can't, you know. But, and again, how we try to support local with all the FFA fundraisers and every sports thing you can imagine, and donating to the rodeo and donating to this and donating to that. And when you have as many stores scattered out as we do across such a broad area, you got every little town around there coming to you. And I try really hard to give a little bit of something to everybody. Can't always give what I'd like to, because we get it from so many different, you know, regions and areas and communities, but we try to support the communities we serve.
And that's, I'll open the can of worms. In our communities, Hennessy, Kingfisher, and so on, that we serve, I hear it every single day that the grocery store and even us, we're on Main Street. They're banging on the door. And we help them any way we can. But if you go to one of the chains, now some of our chains in our market are locally owned and they do help out. But the Loves,
for example, and I don't want to throw names out, but like, that's just one that I think of. when we have a fundraiser, I've never seen a Lowe's or a Home Depot or anybody, and I've never heard of them sending a prize or donating a prize.
Yep.
So when you support your local businesses like you guys or us or any number of them, it's not hard to tell the businesses that support their local communities.
Yep.
They're at the functions. They're there donating when there's a benefit or this, that, or the other, and or you see their prizes on the table or their auction items where they've donated to give. And man, I try to pay attention to that and support the businesses that support our local communities. I mean, the ones with the banners hanging in the gymnasium and on the baseball fence or football fence, those are people who have given their own money to help support your children or whatever your cause is, Lions Club.
Yep. So what's the rural challenge other than, I guess a lot of times I'll hear, well, I bought it from Amazon or Oklahoma City because I just couldn't find it here.
And there is that. There is stuff you can't get.
My question, I don't know where it was. I saw some town, it might have been in Kansas, and as I was leaving town, they had this big sign, and it said, "Did you even try to buy that here?"
I like that.
That was pretty cool.
That's creative.
It goes back to, yes, that thing might cost a few bucks more.
Right.
But I'll just use a lumberyard here. If I went to the lumberyard and bought a box of screws, it might cost $1 more than if I went to Lowe's. But if I went to Lowe's, I've got 20 miles worth of gas. Oh, I'm here, let's just buy dinner.
Right.
There's another store that's a distraction. We'll go over to Harbor Freight and buy some more stuff.
Right.
And so now you've spent that $2 cost you $50.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's just time.
Yep.
And I guess I wish people would try to get their head around that a little
bit.
Right.
Well, and what I've learned in my 30 years in business is people don't know what they don't know. They don't know to think about what they don't know to think about. Yeah. Or I don't until something smashes me in the face or I read something or see it. It's like, and then my eyes are like, how did I not know that for 30 years? Or whatever. It's like, and so we all, I've said this forever. I wish everybody had to own a business for 1 year. The world would be a better place.
Yes.
Because
yes.
they would
concept.
No, and they would treat the girl behind the counter at the convenience store differently, some of them, or the person mopping the floor that's in their way while they're trying to get to the bathroom. How you treat those people says a lot about who you are. And when you are huffy puffy, I had a guy flip me off driving over here. Yeah, I was trying to pass him. He was pulling some implement running 15 mile an hour on the highway, and you couldn't see around the implement. So I just eased out to see, because I knew it was a passing lane coming up. I eased out to see, well, there was somebody coming. Well, I had to get back over. Well, he slammed on his brakes. Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking. But anyway, that guy goes by, I get back over, I see I can go, I go around, and he's flipping me off, pointing to the side of the road, and I'm like, for what? Trying to pass you when you're driving 15 and a 65?
I think people just need to calm down.
So that's back to my point. Yeah, we talked about earlier, man, the world is just on edge right now, I feel like. A lot of people.
I know technology in rural communities is so important because, we were, my company, KJ Foamworks, was based in Enid for almost 30 years. And a lot of it was because Hennessy didn't have the infrastructure I needed to operate. And when we got fiber, thank you, Pioneer.
Yes.
It brought me up. Now I can operate on a national and an international level evenly with others. And that brought some downfalls, where before I would upload a video and it would take an hour, so I would go do something else. Well, now it uploads a video like that. I got to keep working.
Yeah,
but
darn it. I lost my hour break.
Sheesh. So, I guess my take on that is embrace technology. If you don't have it available, I was just talking with someone. We don't realize how fortunate we are in Oklahoma, especially in the Pioneer region. That I have relatives in Kansas that were here last week, and
they're
struggling. They've got copper. They're trying to satellite thing, and it gets cloudy, and it doesn't work, and it's just, And
I wondered about that on the cloudy part. I didn't know.
It just wipes it out. Okay. Yeah, and then the Starlink thing, although wonderful, it affects it the same way.
No, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
I didn't know what. Okay.
It does, and they're up and down quite often. It's
Okay.
not
It's not steady.
consistent.
Fiber is awesome. I have
is.
not had one problem
Absolutely.
at my
Fixed
house.
all
Yeah.
kinds of problems.
Oh yeah, that old copper plant that Pioneer had in the ground, that we finally retiring, it just caused problems. I mean, over time, it'd get moisture in there or whatever, and just connectivity issues. It was a nightmare. We're all so thankful to have the fiber everywhere we have it, and that we're getting it everywhere we're going to get it to, because it's a game changer. Just like you said, there's really nothing somebody in New York has in an office over somebody in Hennessy that has fiber. I mean, as far as technological advances, and
if you're using technology for your benefit, or to operate your business, or to reach out to the world, or expand your market, it's invaluable. You have to have that.
100%.
Yep. So, obviously, as a business owner, careful spending and value are like really, really important. I mean, you can't just go buy the new car every year.
No, you wish you could, but you can't.
People have very tight budgets, and it's just more important now than ever to be careful and chill a little bit.
Yeah, tighten the belt a notch if you have to.
And if you are, if you are making that purchase, think about where you're going to get it. You know, I know I'm guilty. I put something in my Amazon cart and then think, I think the lumberyard might have that.
Right.
And sure as heck they do.
Yeah.
And
but I don't want to preach at people that buy stuff online, because we all do it to a level or a degree. Yeah, you can't find it locally.
Yes.
Or if it's the certain thing, and it is that there are a few small local shops, not many, that mark stuff up too much. I mean, and it's not logical to go in there and spend $50 on a can of wasp spray, or whatever, that you can get for $8 at somewhere else. Yeah. And so I get that, and but I think a lot of people focus on that and don't focus on the ones who are trying to remain competitive, price wise and whatever. But I don't know. There's a lot of challenges, and definitely watching your budget. Personnel is a big expense, and it's not just what they make hourly. It's the taxes on top of that, the insurance, the workman's comp.
That's back to people that don't own a business, don't understand.
Right. What it costs to actually run a business.
You might be making this much an hour, but
you're costing the company this much.
Almost double what you're getting an hourly wage in these benefit things. And it's hard for them to understand.
Yep, it is. And like I said, it's just, if everybody either ran a business for a year or had to work in retail for a year, I think the world would be a better place. I really do.
Oh, absolutely. You bet. So, we talked about a lot of doom and gloom.
Yep.
So what have we learned here? What can we do to rise above some of this thing? What's on the horizon?
Well, that's a good question. And it's, we talked when I was here once before about me expanding this direction, and I'm actually going to look at a property here in a little bit, hopefully. But here's the problem. With the economy being the way it is now the time to try to find a couple of more employees, open a store, expand, move into this region. It's hard. I mean, when you've got money in the bank because things are rolling and doing well, you feel better about expanding. But part of me is also like, if you're ever going to grow and you want to try to recoup, what you lost in the economy, lately, how else do you do that? So these are things that at 3 a.m. you're laying there going, man, what do you do?
Yeah, I had one of those last night.
I have them all the time, and it's like, good grief, just go back to sleep. Quit thinking about that. But you just don't ever shut the mind off, and you keep trucking along and hope that you win more than you lose, if you make those types of decisions and moves. Because just like right now, we're at the end of mower season. Pretty much, we're catching some rain. There's still some grass growing. We're still selling a few, but obviously we don't have much longer to look at doing that. So if I was to come over here right now and try to open one and get people hired and get people trained, I've got all winter to pay rent, to pay bills, to pay expenses.
There.
Yeah. And so timing, using your common sense, and trying to, and praying doesn't hurt any. To try to get a little guidance from above about what you should do and when you should do it.
You know, the advice I give business owners is talk to another business owner.
Yeah.
It's like therapy. It really is. You know, you're not in it alone.
Right.
The haters are going to hate.
Yeah,
And the likers
absolutely.
are going to like.
Yeah.
And it's not going to change that.
Right.
So,
No, I'm very blessed to have a circle of friends that are like-minded business owners that we hang out, play golf, and visit and chit chat and cry on each other's shoulders when it's bad, and cheers each other when it's good, and you know, just keep trucking. But you're right. I mean, sometimes the best therapy you can have is just visiting with like-minded people that have different ideas, but you all have kind of the same mindset and the same goal set, and you know,
business ownership is business ownership. It
Right.
doesn't matter if you're a plumber or a retailer or what. It's
you're out there trying to make it happen on your own and not rely on the man. That's
Wow, very cool. Well, if you need anything that Mark sells, you can find him at M&D. Is it M&D mowers? OK.com?
So we have like 3, but mowersok.com is the easiest.
Oh, really?
One. Yeah, mowersok.com is the easiest one to remember. And yeah, we'd be happy to help you with anything we can. We'd love to make new customers.
Awesome. Mark, thanks so much
Hey,
for hanging out
thank you.
today.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Stay tuned.